My name is Robert Hawkins. I remember distinctly Marylou coming to me and saying, I have met this woman. She is unlike any woman I have ever met before. And I am deeply in love with her. And she lives in Brooklyn, and you're going to have to go bring her furniture. She's going to come with her. So I found myself for the very first time in a freight elevator with someone to help me operate the damn thing, to go up to get the furniture, to bring down, to put in my car, to bring to Rocky Point. So it was absolutely no problem when I was asked to please put the 2 kayaks on my car tonight. I have always had a special spot in my heart for Marylou, and that is shared with other people in this room from the university. And what we would like to do, I have made out a check to the Marylou Stewart Pride Scholarship for $1,000. And where is Christina? Where did she go? Is she here? I'm giving this to you so you can take it back to the university and tell them that there will be other checks made out to Marylou Stewart Pride Scholarship, and the name will be changed. Wow.
Been a very enlightening and enriching evening. I thank you, Alina. And I have to say, I've listened to a number of people speak tonight, and the most amusing thing is that Marylou also convinced me to not give up my PC, but to take on the MacBook Air computer. And as a result of my interaction with her, I also have an iPhone. Recently got an iPad, and have all those issues with mobile me that some of us experience. Now the other thing too is I heard someone say that Marylou tried to photograph them, am I right? Marylou tried to photograph me also. The way I met the girls, along the way, Alina did 2 websites for me for my business, so I got to know Marylou very well. And of course, one day Marylou said, you know, we should redo that photograph of you. That was taken about 10 years ago. So, quite frankly, that photograph that was taken 10 years ago makes me look a lot younger. And it's a lot more presentable, and I'm certainly sure people can appreciate it. She said, no, we really have to take photographs. However, at one time in my life, I was a professional photographer, so I knew what was in store for me. I, too, took 500 photographs of people and things, even praying mantis. So I knew better. However, my photograph was fine. I met Marylou and Alina a few years ago at the North Shore Beach Property Owners Association meeting in Rocky Point. I was immediately drawn to both of them because they were such special people. They were kind, talented, resourceful, and were such an asset and a treasure to our community. Most importantly, they showed love to everyone and welcomed all as family. Marylou and I shared much in common. I, being a former professional photographer, always chided with Marylou about the benefits of Nikon cameras over Canons and Mac computers over PCs, and vice versa. In the end, she taught me a lot, as she was such a creative, knowledgeable, and talented person. Marylou and I also shared a talent for medical photography. She photographed professionally at Stony Brook University Hospital. And I, as a dentist, used my camera to document dental cases in my office for continuing education purposes. We always had lively discussions. We laughed a lot, especially when she would change Alina's computer screen remotely from another room, having us believe that Alina's computer was about to crash. Although she was a relative newcomer to our community, her photographs of the beach touched deeply into the hearts of all of us who spent our childhood years in Rocky Point. As kids, we lived on the beach. We knew every aspect of it, from the time the sun came up early in the morning until the wee hours of the next day. Marylou's photographs really knew how to capture all the reasons why Rocky Point, especially the beach, is a very special place for so many of us. She did it without saying a single word. Marylou, you are sadly missed, but your spirit and tenacity to fight and face insurmountable challenges is so commendable. Your being will always be with us. The wind will always carry your drumbeat, and the beach, your inspiration.
I'm going to have the two people that I mentioned come forward, but before they come, I have a feeling that there's one person in the room who would just be so personally crushed if they weren't invited up to talk right now. Somebody in here who, if they don't speak, will just go home devastated. Anybody? Someone who's been wanting to and then not wanting to and then wanting to and then not wanting to. Come on, talk.
Hi, I've known Marylou since the 7th grade. So, yeah, you should be up here to have my class. Yeah, so I just wanted to come up here because Alina wanted to keep it small, but there was many people who knew Marylou growing up that would have loved to have been here tonight. And I mean, I've learned so much about her because it's been so many years. You know, we haven't seen her always here at all of our reunions, and to her, you know, she's, as Alina gave me the word before, chronicled our lives, and for that we're forever grateful. I mean, it's some of the pictures Marylou took, and I hope that you can find Alina. Our 25th year reunion, we did a cruise around Manhattan, and for some of the people, believe it or not, in our class, it was the first time that they'd ever went that close to the city. Some of the people went out and they think the city is like another country. Right after 9/11, I got so many emails from people because of pictures that Marylou had taken of them at our reunion with those two beautiful buildings standing behind us. And I hope that you can find those and put those in out there for us. So I want to thank all of you for sharing your stories with her about us. I mean, since the 7th grade, she's always had a camera around her neck. It's incredible. She was adorable, and she was a quiet person, but even to today, I mean, I was always the big mouth, but anybody you would ask, everybody knew who she was. You know, her silence was definitely known because she made an impression on everybody, and she captured everybody. As you were saying earlier, the pictures, you know, from a young girl, from our 7th grade yearbooks, you know, the pictures that she could capture people were incredible. And you guys see it all, you know her well. She's a beautiful person, Marylou. We miss you. Rest in peace.
Hi everyone, I'm Christina, Vargas Law. I was asked to speak on behalf of George Meyer, who worked with Marylou and I at Stony University. So these are his words. Dear family, friends, and colleagues of Marylou, although I cannot be with you this evening, I really appreciate Christina Law's willingness to give my thoughts and words a voice at tonight's celebration. I feel compelled to speak on this occasion when it seems as though I have not only lost a friend and colleague, but when we have all experienced the passing of a spiritual giant among us. and that certainly was Marylou. As many of you know, besides knowing Marylou informally as a friend, when I was AVP and President's Deputy at Stony Brook, I worked with her on a number of special projects that embodied her deep commitment to advocating for what was right and for speaking out for those whose voices were not always heard clearly by those in authority. Not the least of these activities was her LGBTQ Association leadership role, in which she advocated for and was devoted to the important issues that her lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and questioning colleagues and students brought to her. And she also expressed her deeply humanistic concerns for her fellow employees through her service on the campus-wide climate committee. But I guess what really endured Marylou to me was, in my role as an administrator at the time, was her ability to identify the critical issues unceasingly, to bring them to my attention relentlessly, and to do it with such integrity, generosity, and genuineness that I actually wanted her to come ask me the tough questions and to lobby me as an administrator on a particular issue, because you knew it came from her heart and you knew she was right. She was, as they say, a mover and a shaker, in the most positive sense of the term. Stony Brook University, the Health Sciences Center, and the University Hospital will always be in her debt for her refusal to accept the status quo and for her articulating, advocating, and bringing about positive change. She was also right about how to transform life circumstances into positive meaning. She took what many of us would describe as the multiple lemons that life seemed to consistently hand her and made one huge, tasty pitcher of lemonade from all of them. The courage, focus, perseverance, selflessness, compassion, and joy she showed through it all was nothing short of an amazing and humble example to me, and I would guess to many of you as well. I learned from her how important your choice of how to interpret life circumstances is to your spiritual health, your sense of joy in living. And therein, Marylou was a star for us all. Finally, Marylou's life, above all else, leaves me inspired and grateful. Ironically, just as Marylou always viewed her life through the lens of gratitude for whatever was her reality. If Marylou were here tonight, I take the chance to amend the many, many conversations, shared feelings, arguments, and discussions we had to add just one thing I may not have taken the time to say while caught up in all of those moments. And that would be thanks, Marylou. Thanks for not only being a colleague and friend, but for being one of those handful of teachers in life whom we never forget. In closing, although I am not of the Jewish faith, there is an oft-quoted saying from the Rabbi's Manual that I believe is especially relevant to how I believe Marylou's departure has left us all. I quote, "When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have joys we yearn to share, we remember them. So long as we live, they too shall live, for now they are part of us as we remember them. Marylou, we are humbled and overjoyed by your life, and we will always remember you." And that is from George Meyer. Thank you for the privilege.